Howdy banger pals, this is Blaine Smith bringing you my most anticipated records of 2025. Yeah, it's crazy snowy in Toronto, so we're gonna do it in the snow. No, we're not. No, it's too cold. It's too cold. What am I doing? Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I can last like 30 seconds out there. So, as a reminder, this is Blaine's most anticipated 2025 list. Why do I say Blaine like that? Because this is my personal list. If you'd like a general list of everything coming out in 2025, there's a bunch of lists online that recycle the same records and give no commentary or context to any of them. So, if you're wondering where Spirit Box and Sleep Token are, there somewhere else. I'm sure Disturbed is going to take on cancel culture and Papa Roach is, I don't know, still going to be singing about being sad. Whatever. If you want to hear me just list off a couple of records that I don't care about, that's what the first 30 seconds of Metal Monthly are for. So here are records I am excited about coming out this year. Here are records I am hoping come out this year, and some, gag stuff towards the end. I've structured it from concrete to ethereal, so if you do want to stick around for some capering, it's there, and if you just want concrete information, it's provided to you off the top. What a handy way to do things. So, without further ado, let's get into the first section, the first section. Actually confirmed things that are for sure coming out because musicians cannot be trusted otherwise. Now, you know I hate spoilers, but I do need to talk about March a little bit. There's some records coming out in March. The first one right around the corner. Total shocker to me. Christian Mistress are back and releasing Children of the Earth on Cruz del Sur Music March 7th. This record really surprised me. Christian Mistress were a great band. If you don't know them, they've got an awesome back catalog to go through. And then they broke up. And I figured they were super cool, but they never really got to that size where a reunion would help them put a new addition onto their house. So I thought maybe it was goodbye, so long, farewell, but they're back. They're releasing new music. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Now, a record you've most likely heard is coming out is Imperial Triumphant's Gold Star on Century Media. It comes out March 21st. Imperial Triumphant, I'm looking forward to this record for good and bad reasons. I'm not an Imperial Triumphant hater. I know a lot of people think they're just weird and pretentious, but I think there's enough humor and silliness and interesting ideas to balance out the rich jazz kids, but that kind of know they're rich jazz kids vibe. It's coming out, and the reason I'm excited is because I do like Imperial Triumphant. Every record presents a fun opportunity to listen to them and go, do I still like them, or have they crossed the line? Because they feel like a band that's going to cross a line eventually. They haven't done it yet, but it is coming at some point. So every record is like, hey, did you guys go too far? This list, of course, is going to include some Metal Monthly alumni. You love to see them back. Lady Beast are releasing The Inner Alchemist March 28th on Dying Victims Productions. And look at that upgrade. Dying Victims Productions signing. Band I like, getting signed to a label that's probably my favorite label in metal right now. So I love the marriage. I love the promotion. I'm looking forward to a new Lady Beast record, and the fact that it's on Dying Victims Production does suggest it's going to be of high quality. Speaking of bands getting upgraded, Messa is releasing The Spin April 11th on Metal Blade. Look at that. They were sort of this come-from-nowhere 2022 darling with their album Clothes. I really enjoyed it. It made a lot of end-of-year lists. I think it made your guys' end-of-year list as well, and they got called up to Metal Blade, so you love to see a cool band kind of coming out of nowhere and then getting signed to Metal Blade. And they're weird. They're different. This isn't like super conventional stuff. I love some stick-to-the-roots metal, and I love some go-off-and-do-your-own-thing metal. So Messa, another upgrade, another glow-up. We love it. Let's keep the cream rises to the top. Now we move into a popular little release window for metal. Unfortunately, April 20th is not a Friday, but April 25th is, and it seems like somebody told Conan that their fans like weed, so they're releasing Violence Dimensions on Heavy Psych Sounds April 25th. Hey, look at that. Go buy your weed, go buy your, if depending on where you live, go buy your government weed and listen to your definitely not government records. Love Conan, love him back. Funny pick for release date. Also coming out April 25th, can we Photoshop just a picture of Sarah pointing a gun at me? Also coming out April 25th is Pagan Altar, Never Quite Dead on Dying Victims Productions. Yeah, Sarah would kill me if I didn't mention them. I, of course, would mention them. I like Pagan Altar as well, but I'm not going to talk too much about Pagan Altar. I'm not going to steal Sarah's thing. She got to stay away from Hooded Menace. I got to stay away from Pagan Altar. Them's the rules, kid. So, yes, Pagan Altar, love their Undying Victims Productions. Like I said, Dying Victims Productions just churns them out. Want more proof that Dying Victims is just churning out quality? Metal Monthly alumni Venator are back with Psychodrome, also coming out April 25th, also Undying Victims Productions. You remember them from Metal Monthly. You remember the album cover. I got the shirt, I got the record, because look at that cover. That is both jank and awesome, and the new one is both jank and awesome as well. Venator, great stuff. Look forward to the new record. Love Dying Victims. Thank God for Dying Victims Productions. And hey, are you looking for a blast from your early 20s past? Well, Pelican are releasing Flickering Resonance on Run for Cover May 16th. They're on a new label. They're not on Southern Lord anymore. It seems like no one's on Southern Lord anymore. Southern Lord was really popping there, and then they disappeared. I don't know what happened. Southern Lord obviously still exists, but the relevance seems to have disappeared. I'm sure I'll watch a YouTube video essay that's 95 minutes at 4 a.m. on a Tuesday in like 4 years, and then I'll be like, oh, that's what happened to them. Until then, the mystery remains, but Pelican are now on Run for Cover. It's their first album in 6 years. Can they bring a style of music that was great, but sort of we aged out of into the 2020s? If anyone can do it, Pelican can. And if they can't, I love making fun of everybody anyways. So either I get a good record or I get some jokes. Okay, that's the end of things we can touch, things we can feel. That's the end of things to pin your hopes on. Now we get into unconfirmed things that you should temper your expectations for, because as we've established, musicians are filthy liars. Up first, maybe the biggest question mark of 2025 is Power Trip. Are they going to release new music? Way back in May of 2022, some guy named Blaine Smith on BangerTV had an interview where Blake revealed that Power Trip... Wait a minute, that's me. What? Was I a music journalist for a day? Anyways, we know Power Trip's working on new music. They're currently on a big European tour with Pantera, which DK's also on, so if you go to that show, make sure you find our boy and give him a hug from us. So, big European tour. They're opening for Pantera. Are they tightening things up? Are they getting it together? Are they getting ready for a new record? Are they on Ozempic and TRT, just getting into that shape you need to be in 2025 to be relevant? Who knows? Is it coming this year? Maybe. Will it be good? That's another big question. A lot of people were like, oh, should they still do Power Trip? Because obviously when a really essential kind of core fixture of a band passes away, you go, do you continue? And obviously Riley, massive focal point of Power Trip, but I mean, there's still a whole band behind that. So can they continue on the legacy of Power Trip? Will this be a Power Trip 2? We don't know. The only way to find out is for them to release new music. If not, hey, I'm digging Fugitive, so either way, I mean, I'm fine. A question that's on fewer people's lips, but is probably on mine and Sam's because we popped off about their last record, Slugdge, mollusk-based metal band, revealed in March 27th when they were releasing like a box set that the new album is coming. They've been working on it. It's just been significantly delayed, but at least the slow pace is on brand. It's a joke because slugs are slow. So, March 2024, significant delay. That sounds like a year to me, but that sounds like a year to me as a man. I am not a slug. What's the significant delay for a slug? Like if a slug texted you and said they're running late, you should probably just order food. So we don't know. Maybe Slugdge this year. Maybe Slugdge in 3050. This next band, I don't know if I can say that they have a new record coming out. I didn't find any information online, so I don't know why they're in this list. But remember Jade from Metal Monthly? Remember Jade? I like Jade. While there's no firm date for this, and so technically it goes in this category, probably the most guaranteed record coming out this year is at the end of last year, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard released a single that they said would be to promote an upcoming record. Do I think they're going to release a record this year? Yeah, have you seen their release history? They're like a Spotify shit poster, but the music's actually really good every single time. It seems impossible. I don't know how they do it, but they keep cranking stuff out, but it's actually listenable music as opposed to the unrelenting commerce. Okay, I've been a good boy. You know it's coming. You know I have to talk. Where's my Hooded Menace record? I want my Hooded Menace record. Back in March of 2023, they re-signed with Season of Mist, which is a big thing because they've never re-signed to a label. Not because they're hard to work with or anything. They just seem to want to do a tour of every cool metal record label, and they've landed on Season of Mist. They parted ways amicably with their second guitar player and revealed they're just going back to being a pure studio band. New music's coming, but that was 2023 that they said that the longest layoff they've ever had between records was between the second last and the last record of 3 years and 7 months. We're currently at 3 years and 6 months, so where's my Hooded Menace? Well, if you think your boy's got an inside scoop because they're his favorite band, you are incredibly mistaken. They're my favorite band. I've never interacted with them besides buying merch at shows. I'm too scared. I'm too scared that something, I'll do something weird or they'll do something weird and then I'll be in tears. So I just continue to enjoy their music and live in a world of mystery and magic. Speaking of my favorite bands, Sodom did multiple interviews confirming that a new album is basically done. It was coming out maybe end of 2024, early 2025. End of 2024 is the past. Early 2025 is the present/future. So new Sodom should be coming down the pipeline. They're the last standing Teutonic thrash band that hasn't completely crapped the bed. Destruction's last record was pretty good. Creator's last record was gah. And if you're going to give me some like, it's the big four, what about Tankard? You're embarrassing yourself. So Sodom, following up Genesis XIX with more new material. Genesis XIX was sick. So do I think this one's going to be great? I sure hope so. Speaking of essential metal musicians that have somehow managed to not tarnish their legacy, Triptykon said in July of last year that new music was coming, a new album on Century Media. What? Tom G. Warrior has gone this far without doing some goofy stuff to make a car payment, so I imagine it's going to be good, and he said it was coming, and there's no reason for him to say a new record's coming because he releases stuff whenever the hell he feels like it. So will the Triptykon record be good? History says yes, but I am also fearful and abused by heroes. So what are you going to do? Okay, so that is the end of the confirmed and roughly confirmed metal albums coming out. The rest is going to be Blaine capering. So if you just came here for real information, you can leave now. But if you're here for tomfoolery, then tomfoolery abound. So I am gonna give you another warning. I'm gonna talk about one record, and it's not metal. Do not freak out. It's also rap, so double warning. I know some of you have some feelings about that. No one wants to hear your feelings. It just makes a party awkward. If you don't like it, just tap the right arrow a couple of times like I'm doing an ad for Squarespace here. But we don't do ads for Squarespace because we don't do ads for anyone because we don't have ads, thanks to our Patreon campaign. Thumbs up. So yes, please indulge me talking about non-metal for
1 minute and 14 seconds.
Jesus Christ, I talk about so much metal at you people. If you're still here, I thank you and celebrate you for your open-mindedness. If you're not aware of Freddie Gibbs is just one of the best rappers active, period, right now. He's got a collaboration record with Madlib, who obviously is very famous. It's called Montana. They've worked together before. If Madlib sounds familiar, of course it's from, probably you know him from his work with MF Doom, Mad Villainy, which is like a record that's accepted pretty much in every circle, even metal. So you're getting that with Freddie Gibbs, who is just a very skilled, complex, interesting, unique, dark rapper. It's really dense stuff. It's really phenomenal. Madlib, obviously very sample heavy. We love samples, so they're combining. If you don't know Freddie Gibbs, you should definitely check out his work with Madlib, and also his 2020 release Alfredo is The Alchemist is amazing. So there's a bunch of great Freddie Gibbs stuff. The record was supposed to come out late 2024, early 2025. As we've established in the timeline, we are now in early 2025. So any day now, exciting rap music. We can now move on. Enough about records. Stop with this micro picture. Let's take a bit of a macro look with Metal Comedy Magazine's 2025 Trends to Watch. Trend number one is now that the American empire has collapsed and oligarchs are carving up pieces of its once mighty corpse in an eerie mirroring of the fate of post-USSR Russia, depression will be on the rise, which means post-punk will continue to explode. Yes, post-punk and rap battle for my, battle for my most listened to non-metal genres. Post-punk record came out earlier this year, Soft Vein, Through Blinds, that I really love. What records are coming out down the pipeline? I don't know, because post-punk doesn't have like a Metal Archives equivalent. Nothing has a Metal Archives equivalent except that scary prog one. Why don't all genres have a website like that? I'm forced to just be a regular casual music fan. I go to Cult Nation at the end of the year. I read their best post-punk of 2025, and I rely on you guys dropping into my Twitch stream and being like, I think you'll like this record. So I don't know, what post-punk should I listen to in 2025? You're in the driver's seat now. You tell me. Trend number two in 2025 is you can tell your mom war metal is now a viable career path, because Antichrist Siege Machine are repaving the path once paved by blasphemy, but there's a whole lot of bands also on that road. There's some great stuff coming down the pipeline that I'm not going to spoil, because I am going to talk about it soon. So war metal, what was once one of metal's most unlistenable subgenres, is now its rising darling. How big can war metal go? There's probably a ceiling, but I'm excited to find out where it is. And what trend report would be complete without a fashion report? We got some good news and some bad news on the fashion front. Good news is weird merch items continue to be on the rise. I got this Antichrist Siege Machine blender bottle. It's not even a cheap one or nothing. It's stainless steel. It's got a custom engraving on the rubber band around the top. This is a high quality piece, and bands continue to need to get theirs, because we've only got a short amount of time to enrich ourselves in our Western world before the Chinese century of prosperity. So gotta get yours. Release weird merch items, blender bottles, slides, drug mirrors, anything you can get your hands on. Innovate, push the bounds. We're metal fans. In our ideal world, there would be a band logo on every single thing we own. Sometimes it's good, sometimes Sabaton releases a gaming chair. Now, the bad news is all over print continues to be on the rise. You might be able to find some file footage of me and, well, this thing and say, hey, Blaine, don't you have an all-over print shirt? That's not an all-over print shirt. That's a rash guard. I made it as a gag. People are wearing all-over prints seriously. What's the issue with all-over prints? If you wear an all-over print, the difference between a metal fan and a juggalo to a normal person is nigh imperceptible. And while I don't necessarily care what normal people think, I do care what they think if they think I'm a juggalo. And speaking of the mainstream, the really bad news is, yes, mainstream will continue to jack metal aesthetic. It's unescapable. Brands are getting on to spiky fonts and weird logos. The good news is they'll continue to be bad at it, so it always looks like deathcore. And as a reminder, deathcore, it's not metal.